How do you, from a natural standpoint, recommend people go about having a building phase, a cutting phase?
Yeah, it's definitely be contextual. Like, I don't look at my body now as cyclical or phases, especially being almost 55. I got to think about my overall health. If I can keep myself, reasonably lean, 10, 15 pounds over, I feel good. I look good. I can still perform well. It's just like, it's in a sense, like you're just closing the gaps between these phases.
How do you, from a natural standpoint, recommend people go about having a building phase, a cutting phase? How much time is in between there? Like, it's going to be somewhat individualized, but just common
Yeah.
denominators. What do you recommend?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be contextual because
Yeah.
obviously I'm in my 50s. And I've been training now 40 years, which is hard to believe. So you look at that, you're like, okay, how much more muscle am I to gain? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
realistically speaking, probably not a ton, probably nothing, to be honest with you. So it's more about, for me, it's like, okay, I just need to work hard to maintain the current amount of muscle. Like, I've already built, a good physique.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's just, there's no, like, I don't look at my body now as cyclical or phases. So if I'm competing, yes, I'm getting pretty darn lean. But if I'm not competing, and especially being, almost 55, I got to think about my overall health. So I don't need to venture, 20, 30 pounds over stage weight anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can keep myself, reasonably lean, 10, 15 pounds over, I feel good. I look good. I can still perform well. My mood's good. So everything's just intact. So it's just like, it's in a sense like you're just closing the gaps between these phases.
Mm-hmm.
They're shorter and they're easier to get to either way. And a lot of that's habits. And this probably goes with not just me as an older guy, but just anybody in general. Like, when you're thinking about your habits first and foremost, you prioritize that. Usually if you have good habits, like, the result of those habits, is basically like where you should be or want to be. Basically, it's a byproduct of the habits. So that should be always prioritized first, in my opinion. If you're younger, you don't have a ton of muscle yet, and you're trying to, like, okay, I want to do a gaining phase and, eventually compete those things, then sure, you're going to be in a surplus, but I don't think it needs to be excessive. I think
Right.
sometimes when you're young, you're eager for progress, you're in a rush to get there. But if you look at someone like myself, who's 40 years deep into this, if you look at that, I go, okay, I still have 40 years to do something,
Mm-hmm.
and that's hard for someone who's younger because I was young too, and I want that progress like next week.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about pace. Like, if you're slowing your pace, you're conservative. You don't need to gain excess amount of weight to put muscle on, as long as you're well fed. So well
Right.
fed, I think it in two different ways. Like, if you're one whose body fat is, roughly anywhere probably like 12 to 20%, it's a broad range, but depending on the person. But that, okay, you got enough body fat on you, so that's energy.
Mm-hmm.
In order to maintain a weight, you have to eat enough calories to maintain it. So there's fuel coming in. So it's like you don't require a ton excess of food to generate that type of environment. And if you're noticing like energy levels aren't that great or your performance isn't all that great, you're not recovering well, sure, maybe you need to eat a little bit more, but it's probably not, I don't need 1,000 calories more.
Yeah.
It might be like 100, 200, 300 more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, like, when you gain too, it's like you don't need to continue to gain. Like, maybe put 3, 4, 5 pounds on, then marinate there. Like, okay, whatever weight you went up to, make that look better over time. So maybe you spend 3, 6 months there,
Mm-hmm.
spend time at that weight, train, get better. Okay, can I gain again? Okay, checks off. I could probably gain a little bit more, another 3 to 5 pounds. Okay, sit there and marinate, make that look better over time. So big way to say, just don't go up and down, like the extremism that we see, hard
Yeah.
bulks, hard cuts. And it would be the opposite for cutting. It's like, lose 3 to 5 pounds, sit there, train, lose 3 to 5 pounds, sit there, train. So you kinda just like this slow little sliding scale, or
Yeah.
dimmer switch analogy would be a good one to use.
And that's so key, man. Like, so many people get fixated on the weight, like their
Mhm.
peak weight in the bulk or their, lowest weight in the cut.
Yeah.
And like, I've taken photos every year. I've logged everything. And honestly, my stage weight has been pretty consistent for the past
Mhm.
several years. Like, there's not a massive, window there.
Yeah.
But I look
Different.
notably better every single time I step on stage. You can't really distill it down to just weight alone,
Yeah.
but the muscle maturity, the definition, the separation, the symmetry of it all looks
Yeah.
better, more enhanced, more dense. And I feel like a lot of people just fixate on, oh, I gotta gain X amount before I cut down. I like the marinade philosophy, like give yourself time there to
Yeah.
just improve the look and density of that tissue. And I feel like a lot of people, like now, I mean, I'm about 185 right now, and I typically am around 12 to 15% in a building phase roughly. And then I compete at 155 on the super low end, 160, somewhere in that window when I'm cutting down, sub 5%. And I feel like that's a pretty reasonable, window between
Mm.
peak cut and peak build. And I did the same thing that most people do. I mean, I used to do that crazy massive bulk in the beginning. I lost
Yeah.
80 pounds in 12 weeks
Oh
for my
my
first
gosh.
show. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, man.
80 and 12, what's the average of that? That's
Way
like
too much.
7 pounds almost a week?
Yeah, I was starving. That was my very first show. I starved myself. I did way too much cardio. I did everything wrong. I didn't know what I was doing.
I did something similar. I lost 30 pounds in 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Mhm.
It's not optimal by any means.
No, but when you did it though, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, like, after you're done, you're like, maybe it wasn't optimal, but you loved it. You loved that grind, that chase, and you're like, "I
Oh,
can do
yeah.
this." Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
that's
like,
how I felt. I'm like, even though I look like shit, I'm like, "Yeah, I loved every second. Like, I can do this again," but I just needed to get smarter about it.
yeah, well, when you do something extreme, I don't think it has to be bodybuilding, but anything extreme where it just demands, like, the utmost degree of discipline that you can muster, and you succeed, whatever that quote unquote "succeed" looks like for you in that
Uh-huh.
season, it just makes you realize how empowering
Yeah.
you have it to, like,
Yeah.
pick a goal, dedicate your existence towards it, and then you can reach the goal if you don't waver.
Yeah.
So it was good in that regard.
Yep.
So it was a net positive psychologically, but man, physically,
Physically, yeah, the other story. Yeah.
yeah, no
Yeah,
rep.
it's another thing that to address too is how we're talking like marinating at weights, don't do this up and down stuff. Think about the behaviors around that philosophy
Mhm.
because you get to spend more time like a little more static.
Yeah.
So you're even keeled, where if you're doing a lot of hard bulking, hard cutting, like you get some crazy behaviors that go with that.
Mhm.
And that's where like, possible food orders, disorders start to happen.
Totally, man. I mean, now,
So,
like, I do not change my training at all between a building and a cutting phase. My cardio increases slightly.
uh,
I don't change my food whatsoever. Like, I eat the
yeah,
exact same food whether I'm in a
yeah.
building or a cutting phase. I just change the amounts, and I feel like that's a much healthier relationship than I've ever had before, and that's been how it's been for the past, I don't know, 10 years now for me.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
So,
Yeah, if you're trying to make whatever phase you're running, you're trying to make it look the same. Like I said, the only thing that changes is the amount of food you're taking in, or maybe the activity level changes a little bit.
yeah.
Me personally, I just don't require a lot of calories. It's kind of interesting. Like off season maintenance calories for me to hold like 12, 15 pounds over stage weight, it's like 2,300 calories.
So not much at all then.
No, no. And then when I diet down, I gotta take my calories down 1,600, 1,800 in that realm, 5, 6 days out of the week. And then, of course, the outsiders will see that and go, "Oh my gosh, how are you doing that?" It's like,
Mhm.
well, it's relative because what I feel at that, I'm sure someone else might feel the same eating 3,000 calories.
Would you were you eating about the same, 20 years ago, or has that changed as
It
you've gotten
changed because my lifestyle changed. Because
yeah.
back then, I worked at an auto plant. I
Mhm.
had a
Me neither.
manual job, I was on my feet a lot. I didn't track steps back then, I didn't know what that was way back when. But if I had to guess, I would say I was probably walking at least 15,000 steps a day or more.
Mhm.
Whereas now, coaching other bodybuilders, I sit at a desk. So if I don't purposely move, I'm getting like 2,000 steps a day
Yeah.
if I
Oh,
don't move, right? I have to purposely, consciously, I'll say, "Okay, let me go for a walk, or let me get on this treadmill, or let me clean the house," something to get myself to move. Otherwise, I'll be extremely sedentary. So if you think about it, okay, I'm barely moving. So yeah, I'm not going to require a ton of calories.
thank you for watching this episode of The Savage Clip. If you want to see the full blown deep dive, check out the full episode here, and I'll see you there.